Hello, good evening and welcome back to HTR. It's Monday evening, which means it's time for some Tier 1 action. And this week we're off to Belgium for round 4 of 12 in HTR Season 5. Last week saw our first sprint race event of the season, and despite Matt taking the top spot in that sprint, he couldn't convert in the deluge of rain that we had at Albert Park. And it was Thallo who came through from 10th to challenge the field and take the checkered flag and really put the cat amongst the pigeons at the top of the standings and spice it up. Gives everybody a chance to catch up. And you'll be glad to hear Desert 10 is alongside me in the comms box this evening. What are you expecting to see from this one tonight, mate?
Hi everyone. Yes, could be another one full of carnage. There could be weather chaos, there could be car chaos, there could be everything you want in an F1 race here. The particular areas of like Eau Rouge, Radion, they could cause all sorts of problems for the drivers, and if the weather is miserable like it was last week, then we might even get another surprise winner.
Yeah, if you missed the wet race that we had at Albert Park last week, you can catch up with that on our YouTube channel, Hyper Tier Racing, for that one. Worth going back and having a look. They reference the standings and the cats being put amongst some of the pigeons in there. And at the top we have two leaders then, Matt and Positive, both on 107 points. And Thallo came through to take that win in the, well, I guess you call it the main event. It's just 8 points back now in third. Andrea had a decent result as well after DNFing the week before in Saudi Arabia. So he's on to 79. And Armour King's on 72. So there's a top 5 sort of developing. And the front 3 really trying to stretch away. Andrea will join them if he can just stay consistent. It's always been the issue for him. And we do reference it week after week. He's probably fed up of hearing it from us now, to be honest. But an opportunity again then, with big points on offer tonight to close the gap. And there's a reference there. You never know what's going to happen around start. Dry quali for the drivers. It's at least the start. And Alex F1 then to be the first out on track.
4 reserves
Not
in
actually the first out on track.
For tonight's race from Tier 2, as we've got a yellow flag from on track in Sector 2. Yeah, Grumpy in from Tier 2, Kevin Iolator in from Tier 2, Norton and Emma Payne. And I'd also like to use this moment to welcome back Franick, always a top driver in amongst our leagues over the past few seasons. He's back for his first race of the season in the AlphaTauri, I must say. So he'll be challenging the guys at the front, I'm sure.
Yeah, we got there in the end. Chaos on track. Chaos in the comms box already. And there's Alex F1 then. He's in a Alfa Romeo sandwich at the moment. And goes beyond Andrea. So Alex F1... that goes beyond Andrea, goes beyond Harvey Booth, sorry. Andrea then not far behind. Those three very close together.
Yeah, I think the Alfa Romeos are looking at giving each other a bit of a toe, which could really help them in quality here.
Yeah, Harvey Booth's going to get a nice one as well. Andrea, really wide line. We'll go on board with the Italian. It's down into this hairpin of turn 1 then. Really slow the car down, off camber on the inside. Look it back around. It's all about getting that power down. A nice transitional period. And you can send it at one of the most famous bits on the F1 calendar through Eau Rouge. Lovely from Andrea. And if you don't quite get the exit right of turn 1, it will cost you all the way up the hill.
Let me take this moment to say Alex F1 as well. He's got a toe off Matt. They've timed that perfectly, the Ferraris.
Yeah, Harvey Booth actually not attempting his lap, didn't open his DRS, just purely towing Andrea along. I wonder if he's got the better slingshot then. Matt will have to be aware he's got Andrea coming up behind him. He is. This is very neat for Andrea.
In the meantime, Norton's round in Sector 1, just going up Eau Rouge, so he could be the first of many going there.
We've seen previous years. But he won't be the first to lay claim. for putting it in the wall there. This is looking very quick from Andrea. You can tell how quick it is just by the way he's reeling in Alex, who gets out of the way now, or maybe made a mistake. So Andrea is going to set the benchmark time. What's it going to be? You've got to time it right around here with your runs, because very long out lap and in lap. So it's all about timing it right. You have to be on the money in order to get 3 shots at it. 143 dead then is the target. Now I wonder if Alex F1 will give Matt the toe then. A few more coming across the line now.
Oh, Grumpy spun it in sector 3. He's unfortunate, but he's just going to spin round now. Got out the way nicely.
Briefing Cow around the final corner. That's so tough as well. The final corner off camber. Briefing Cow goes 4th. Rio 5th. Now down to 6th. Brannick's into 3rd on his return. Here is Matt then. Joint leader in the standings at the moment with Positive. Oh no, and Brannick.
Oh,
What's happened there?
and Positive.
And Positive.
Penalty
Oh,
for
Matt! Oh, Matt's in the wall. Doesn't DNO. Oh, retire from the session.
Missing a front
wing
wing.
is gone.
So, literally carnage in a matter of seconds between 3 of arguably the favourites to win this.
I'm not sure what's happened there with Positive then, and Brannick. Brannick at least has a time on the board. Positive with a 5th place grid pen. That could be big. Right then, he's going to have to limp back to the pits now. I said about it's all about timing. This will really hurt him. Positive picking his lines with accuracy. Doesn't look quite as quick as Andrea at the moment. No, and I think he's backed out of it. Yeah, he has. See? Or was he just trying to keep the car in check? Oh, he's on his outlook, sorry, that's why, my bad.
Without
He's just
being biased in any way, another one I think to look out for will be Tundra. It kind of just went against him last week, but he was up there in qualifying and the sprint race, and he's on his first quali lap now.
Yeah, we're on board with him in sector 2. And there are a few. Oh, just run wide, but stays legal. Don't gain any time. Be careful of these carbs on the inside. Just kissed them and rode off it. Swings around. Double right-hander through Nana's cottage and up the hill. How good is this going to be from Tundra then? Only 10 lap times on the board at the moment. We've had almost half of quali. Tundra, oh, slight lock up. Be very careful. Make sure the car's straight before getting on the power. Tentative on it, P4. 43.9, so relatively grouped the field. Andrea 6/10 quicker than anybody else at the minute. All Positives round! Just joined the other Mercedes. And the corner after Matt, where he went, Positives round as well.
Yeah, he's going to have to get that car back to the pits, put a fresh set on, really try and challenge the leaders because of that 5 place grid penalty, so it's Positive's up against it already.
Good start. A couple of the guys that normally sit near the top here. Here's Salo then. Last week's winner. Now starting flying lap for Aston Martin. As I referenced, 3rd now in the standings. A win can really boost you with a bumper points offering here in HTR. 45 points for a win. Really can help, and he's got a bit of traffic here with the Williams, who does bail out. I wonder if that just got in his way. Keeps it nice and in check. There's a lot of traffic. The car is in sector 2 at the moment. They've all gone out at the same time. More traffic he's going to encounter here.
I've just had word of what happened in the Frantic positive incident. Frantic was actually looking in his mirrors and didn't see positive, and obviously those two have come together, and that's how it's led to Frantic retiring from the session and positive getting his penalty.
Thanks for that, Ted. Yeah, that could be a big moment. Although, a lot of overtaking spots, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of mistakes made in the race, so we've seen positive going through the field before. As he can get a time on the board, and we'll be alright. Ballo then trying to pick his way through the traffic again as he approaches the penultimate corner. Carried a lot of speed in, a decent amount of speed through the final corner as well. The power down on exit, only 8th throw. Grumpy goes into 9th.
Great lap from him.
Really found something, Grumpy, this season. I mean, proving to be a threat. Oh, and there's just a wheel there in the middle of the track. Oh, and Grumpy just cut across the face of someone. I don't think he hampered them. Trying to go out of the way. So we've still got both the Ferraris, Matt and Alex, without times. They are on flyers now, though.
I am watching that as we speak.
Positive on and out lap. Emma Payne, Harvey Booth still in the pits. And then Creations and Norton are trying to set times too now. Lots of cars. Look at that track map. All filtering through one another.
Yeah. And those guys will want to complete a lap, get in, do an out lap, and do another one. So tying in against them.
Careful not to cut the tyres on the out lap. I guess you can blitz at least on the in lap now without having to start on your quali set of tyres anymore. That's gone. So you can blitz the in lap as well, but you certainly don't want to blitz the out lap. Ruin the surface of the tyre before you really need it. Matt then through Nana's cottage and just keep his foot to the floor. There's Andrea, wow.
And Armour actually put in a wonderful lap as well, doing 43.2, but it's still half a second off Andrea.
I mean, Armour King really clear of the field, but Andrea clear of everyone, and Matt then, what can he do? Oh, he matches the 42.7, but it's just not enough. And he's on to the front row.
Makes you think if the Ferrari's time Matt perfectly and give Matt the slipstream, he could sneak a pole with it.
Alex F1 went into 10th. Kev's just bumped himself up to 11. And Creations has gone back into the pits then. Must have cut a corner or something, abandoned the lap. So, not the greatest session for Creations, joining slightly late, now struggling to get it all together, as Positive has now started his fire.
That's what I'm watching. Pressure is on for the joint leader. The T1 understands.
Triet's abandoned his lap. Dreyer pushing on his in lap there. Harvey Booth on his out lap as well. And a King on his way back to the pits. Briefing Cow then, I think he's on the flyer and improving by the looks of it. P8 at the moment. He's a marginal gain to jump into P7. 2 tenths to Tom. 4 tenths to Tundra. What's it going to be then for Briefing Cow? It's going to be 6th place, 43.9. It was a 4/10 improvement. Not enough to jump Tundra. P6 is a really good benchmark. That Smiggy we've got coming through, I think, on an in lap as well.
Yeah, got my eye on Positive. He's going through sector 3 now. I'll be the quickest part of the track. We'll be open not for any traffic at the final few corners. Oh no, he's about
Goes in. Wow. And now it's going to be real pressure on then. I think maybe it wasn't his best. I think if he'd gone round again,
Harvey's
he would
round.
have struggled to get another set.
Harvey's doing donuts.
He's doing real donuts.
The crispy green box. He's off and running again.
Pain going
oh no!
as well, so
no, he's lost it again. That back end sliding out. Those tyres must be redded.
almost everybody in the pits then. Norton Creations on their outlap.
Yeah,
this will be the final runs for those two.
Yeah, they've gone out. They're two that haven't put time on the board, so they're going to have pressure on them to deliver the hit.
Norton then does start flying lap in the Red Bull, but could be an advantage having just clear track, because we've seen a lot of congested activity out there.
He's got a
I
car
think that's going to happen again in the moment.
Going up Eau Rouge.
It has, it's a Ferrari. It's Alex F1. Be a nice tow here. I think we're just seeing a couple more cars start to leave the pits now. Nice poise from that Red Bull. He negates what can be a tricky couple of corners of running wide and some of the raised curbs there. This is where we've seen a couple of the big players go. And keeps it well in bounds.
Creation's already abandoned his flyer, so he'll go for his final run this time around.
Going for a double warm-up lap. Norton's not though, riding the curb now. Oh, slight twitch of the rear end and then a lock up. He finishes sector 2 through Nana's cottage. Keeps it well in play. A slight bit of respite before the final two corners, which you have to really be on the money. You can see how much you go uphill. You're still climbing. And then final corner doesn't look it from the camera. So off camber. Norton cross the line 15th, 45.3. Does get a time on the board. Might possibly just push and see if he can do anything on the way back into the pits. So everyone back out on track now then. All 20 cars. Yellow there in sector 2. Is it Triet who... Yeah, Triet was on a hot lap. Has run it wide. You can see from his tyres into the gravel trap. So they're really bunching up on that track map again around the final corner. Andrea has started his flyer though.
Yeah.
Currently quickest, just.
I'm on board with Alex F1. He's the first of the runners now on a hot lap. Just finished sector 1, going through sector 2 now. He's decided not to help teammate with the 6th tree, which is interesting. Oh, and he's ran wide! Alex F1 won't be better than 10th.
There's always a potential as the track ramps up as well now. Kevin Rio only needed 10th to jump beyond him. Andrea. Oh, Andrea's invalidated as well. Just trying to gain that extra little bit. And so's Creations.
Oh,
so these final runs. Creations in the wall.
No time on the board for Creations. That could be huge.
Tom is the next one. The gaggle of cars behind him. Mr. Fruit Salad. So the last corner of second 2. Carried a pace. Use all of the track limits. 4 tenths up. It's looking good from Tom. And he's going to bump him right up. Said about the track ramping up. 4 tenths shows it. Really is a gaggle. So it's Hurricane then, who's going to be the Aston Martin that's following the Williams of Tom. Keeps it nice and controlled. And goes into P4.
Good from him.
Good time there.
Can only improve to 15th.
Just gains one. Grumpy's round and in the dirt. As Positive now coming across the line. Goes third. Finds something.
Yeah.
Right at the death.
With all the pressure on him, he's done well there. Emma Payne is next. He's invalidated, in fact.
Not better than 18th it will be for Emma Payne.
Smiggy round the last corner.
Goes 9th. Might be slightly disappointed. Thallow then. Invalidated as well, so it's not been better than 11th. The last week's race winner, thanks to Jonathan Wass. And this is Goldwash. Thallow will start one place back. And Matt doesn't improve. Nothing better for Matt. I think he basically sacked it off.
Time on board for Harvey Booth as well. There's some big players down the bottom half of the grid, it must be said.
Grumpy won't improve either, so that is going to be the grid. Not many improved on that final run, just stretching to gain those tenths here and there and pushing track limits a bit too much. But it's Andrea whose second lap was good enough for pole. Matt joins me on the front row. Positive pulled it out right at the end for P3, but has that 5-place penalty. So that's going to drop him back the field. So Armour King, Tom, Briefing Cow, Franek and Tundra would all be bumped by 1. Smiggy might be slightly disappointed for 9th, but always good in the race, managing their tyres. They might be able to pull some strategy cards out. Triet will start from 10th. Thallow 1 back as a reference from his quality position last week, where he won in the race from 11th. Alex F1 for 12th, Kev for 13th, Rio 14th, Grumpy 15th, Hurricane 16th. I think Hurricane will be disappointed as well. Couldn't really get it going. Norton 17th. Then Emma Payne, Harvey Booth and Creations. No time on the board at all. Sees M3 start from the back. And what weather are we going to encounter then for the race? I said last week it wet. Oh no, it's dry.
It looks dry.
You never know, it might change.
Yeah. Always got the potential around Belgium for weather change, and it could happen here.
So we've got the big players near the front. Positive, some work to do to climb through the field. Certainly more than capable of doing that. Andrea just needs to keep his head today. It's got really good pace. Matt's going to push him all the way. It's whether he can not buckle, not make a mistake. And we've seen safety cars all season, so strategy hasn't been a key player too much yet in the season. It's been more about the raw pace.
Yeah, I think that has got to the point this season where he wished qualifying was actually a race result. He's looked good over 1 lap, and as you've kind of alluded to already, he's just failed to keep it on the track for the duration of the races so far. But this is another chance for him.
If you had to pick somebody outside of the usual suspects who might spring a surprise, and I'll use the phrase again, throw the cat amongst the pigeons in this race, is there anybody in there that you think might have the potential to do it?
I mean, I don't know if you're going to count this vote as a bit left field, but again, I've gone for him before and I'm going for him again. Armour King quick in qualifying here. And this could be the race that really puts his name at the top of the leaderboard. If he can turn that quality pace into race consistency, I think he's got a great chance.
Yeah, he's made a couple of mistakes. I mean, he 5-stopped, didn't he, a few weeks ago? If he finished third or fourth, but he 5-stopped and then ended up getting back to where he started. Yeah.
so many people sort of spinning out in front of him and causing collisions and incidents that he was just rather just stuck in midfield. So I think he just needs a fresh run, really, and then he'll put his he'll put his name up there. As you see, we're on broadcast mode for this formation. So it slightly changed here because there was a bug found in the game. So to ensure that everyone sort of maintains their tyres on the grid, we have to do this in broadcast mode, which is very interesting.
I mean, I would have loved to have had the time there to run through the tyres, because just seeing down the side, there is a mix of strategies. Andre's on the medium, he's then got Matt and Armour King on the hards behind him, so you'd think he'll be able to make it to turn 1 relatively safely with the inside as well.
You're going to have to be quick to change the things you need to on the screen, that's for sure. But as you said, a mix of tyres would really mix things up at the start.
There is a couple of soft runners in there, but I mean, we'll see what develops off the line then. Can bring up the tyres there. So Tundra on the softs, Rio on the softs.
Smiggy as well, you'd expect
the lights
that,
are on
you?
then. Yeah.
And we're off.
Do it. There we go. And it looks, yeah, very safe start for Andre, who gets away. Briefing Cal might have a look down the inside of the hearse of Armour King. It was all very tight. They got through. Tom on that medium tyre has gained over the hearse. Briefing Cal's closing in. Armour King really had to lift there behind Tom, and that might hurt him now. They're all bunching up.
Yellow flag.
I think they're all going to make it through a route.
They made it through, I think. Oh, it was an Aston Martin. He went wide. It was Hurricane. Or Fallow. It was Fallow who's had a problem.
And a plane all over the rear of Kev and down the outside. Gets it done, I think. Yeah. All very tight in the middle. Creations. Oh, and who's that round? It's Norton.
Rebel round. Norton's round.
And a Payne diving through the field. Creations had a wonderful start. 13th. On the hard tyre as well. And that's the position change. Emma Payne as well up 8. Harvey Booth and Creations from the back. Really taking advantage. Horrendous start for the Aston Martins. Down to 18th and 19th. For Creations. Oh, what's happened? Creations is gone.
Oh, Tom's retired.
Oh, and Tom. Where's that?
Oh, just when you thought
the right-hand side there.
Williams, they looked flawless over the last few weeks, but now we've had a bit of a pick-up, and it's their main man, T1, he's had a problem, and he didn't walk.
The right-hand side, the end of sector 2 there, and it is a safety car. So a chance to catch up then with everything.
Yeah. This will allow Creations to Norton catch back up to the field, obviously allow and make pit stops early doors if he needs to.
Oh, Norton's gone!
Oh!
I'm not sure what's happened there.
It's still mini-map, but yeah, I'm not sure. So we're down to 18.
Yeah, pulled over there, Norton. And Creations, you had an absolute belter and must have made a mistake. And ended up back down now in 17.
Rio, the only one.
Rio has pitted.
Yeah, stop!
A sub!
got my football brain working.
Sub!
Ringing the changes on his front left, front right, and 2 rears.
Has gone on to, has subbed on the hard tyre. This has the potential to stick now for the rest of the season.
Yeah, so Tundra and Smiggy, who started on the softs and opted to stay on the softs for now. He's expecting more carnage.
Yes, a really good start. Emma Payne up 10. Don't worry about having an absolutely nightmare of a quali session where you can't even put a time on the wall. I'll just jump 10 on the first lap. 10!
Surely the highest they've ever been in terms of a tier 1 race. in
Food
amongst
as well.
unexpected company, it must be said, but fair play to them.
So not much change at the front. Positive has jumped the 4 already as well and snuck into 4th place. So we've got 4 big players at the front. Franick in 5th as well. So, and Tundra as well, knocking around in 6th. I thought you might pick Tundra as your one to,
You know me.
really
I try
throw.
not to be biased to my team, so I'll just leave those two to crack on with it.
I don't think the safety car is going in. No, I think we have another lap, despite the entire field being bunched. We're going to have another lap behind the safety car. So good news for the soft runners.
Exactly what I was thinking. Helps them sort of keep their soft tyres from sort of burning out too early. Harvey is ghosting. I'm not sure why, but I'm sure he was there at the start, so we'll keep an eye on that.
I'm not sure what's happened there. We've got a very long lap then behind the safety car. And listening to Andrea's engine rev like that is getting on my nerves.
So Norton actually retired because his wheel was broken. So as far as excuses go, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Oh no, and Creations has come together with Briefing Cow at the back. Now has got a 5-second penalty. Not a good session, not a good weekend. Monday night round, I don't know what you want to call it, so far for him. But a long, long way to go. 22 laps seems an awful long way around here.
I'm just going to give a shout out to someone who's messaged on our stream from Petch, who is actually the tier 2 leader so far. He's gone for unlucky for Tom on lap 1. Money on Kev for a podium amongst chaos now. Rocket start from Emma Payne, good lord, he says.
Signed off in true Pepsi style with a good lord.
You can just imagine him saying it.
Oh, good lord! Harvey Booth left the session again.
Well,
struggling.
Yeah, obviously having a problem connecting to the lobby. There's race control message of safety car in this lap. So what is Andrea going to do? He's got all of sector 3 to decide.
Yeah, I think normally the favourite strategy here, isn't it, is take it all the way and try and get the power down as best you can. Give yourself the best exit out of that final corner. Because if you don't, you might choose to go early though. It's just Matt's normally alive as anyone on a restart though.
Yeah, so you might have to throw a
Got
car.
all the plays. Yeah. Positive, I think, will be attacking Armour King straight away as well.
Grumpy's got a 5-second penalty for colliding with his dad.
Oh no, the Mr. Annihilator household is going to be fuming. It is a decent restart from Andrea. That did a decent job of keeping with him. And Franick's actually attacking Positive. Round the outside then into 1. Ooh, Positive just getting caught up a bit on Armour King as well. And Franick gets the drive. Runs through.
I think that really hampered Positive there. Armour King must have just lost a bit of traction around that corner. Further back, Smiggy's made a move on Alex F1. He's going backwards.
Carlos past the Ferrari as well.
When Emma Payne, what's happened there?
What has happened there?
They were flying and now they find themselves back in 15. Must have had an issue, maybe with Briefing Cow.
Armour King.
The front wing.
Armour King, the cork in the bottle. Franick, Positive, Tundra. All over the back. Triet not far back as well, just half a second. Yeah, Harvey Booth, 3.5 seconds behind Triet. So, very strange restart in the midfield there.
Kevin Eilert is just next to the pits as well after his collision with Grumpy. So he's got it all to do.
No spaghetti hoops for Grumpy tonight.
He doesn't get the food.
He does not deserve the food. Oh, and a wobble from Positive. Had to bail out of the corner. It's cost him 2 places.
Oh, the restart's just not gone well for the Mercedes driver, but his teammate is
Front end went
going
loose
along
on him.
nicely.
Yeah, back to 7th then. Hard work of the opening lap. Just like you come undone as Andrea's pulled a second and a half from Matt on the hard tyre. Armour King, now that he's got the tyres fired up, looking a bit more pacey. Trying to keep Franek behind on that medium tyre. And then Tundra's on the softs. How far are we going to see those softs go?
Yeah, you'd think as well they can do an extra 2 lap because of that safety car incident. So Tundra may be looking at switch onto the hards, maybe lap 7, 8, and then go to the end, but we'll see.
And here's Franek getting very close then in the slipstream of Armour King, and he's going to pass him with consummate ease around the outside. He's into the podium spots. Armour King, no point fighting that. He knows he just needs to race his race on the hard tyre. Franek, oh, slight slide, and it threw Armour out as well, who had to check, and that's let Tundra into the back. Look at this from Andrea. Almost 2.5 seconds now. The gap to Matt. Oh, Franek.
Bumpy in the shots. He just leaving. He must have sustained damage after his collision.
Franek is so close to the wall. Then.
It's one of those places you talked about it before with the card. They can really spit you out, and you're not too far away from some of them. Obviously, Franek got away with one there.
Yeah, who's that? Alex F1.
Yeah. Another difficult day so far. No tar tyres. Can't negotiate the turns of sector 2.
And Matt, just look at the gap again to Andreas. Pull it back to just. Well, it is 2 seconds again now. It's re-fluctuating up and down.
DRS enabled.
I wonder if Franek will be looking to catch Matt then. We've seen those two have a right couple of ding-dongs throughout the seasons here in HTR. There's been a bit of a DRS train then behind Franek. Armour King really needs it because here comes Tundra.
Emma Payne's had an incident in sector 3. Just past Nana's cottage.
Tundra past Armour. Armour's going to try and fight this out to the outside, you know. Concedes it. But now he's got Positive all over the back of him. One Mercedes through. Here comes another. Really cautious. Oh, Positive trying to dive down the inside. That was bold. Armour's not going to let him have that one, I don't think. No, he's going to shut him to the outside. Just about keeps it in bounds, though.
This could be interesting round here. Fast left-hander.
Was he looking for a switch back, possibly? Armour does well. And Treat's right on the back as well now.
Yeah, he does have, well, I must say, he's the first in to have a penalty. That's Harvey in 8th, actually.
A real nice group then. Franek just trying to drop Tundra outside that DRS range. As Positive all over the back of Armour King again. It's going a long way round.
Off the track just to try and get it past him.
But then has the line up the inside. Oh, Armour.
He's going to have DRS as well.
And here comes Treat. Treat's got a good run. This can happen once you start sliding down the field. You just can't stop it. And it's hurting Armour this. Everybody else getting away, and those that were so close just now getting stretched outside second. They're going to go side by side. Up Eau Rouge they. Treat outside has it done. I think kept it in bounds as well.
Yeah, and it's the Alpine.
They both got the benefit of DRS though.
Yeah.
The Alpine stays ahead.
Bromley picks up a 3-second time penalty back there.
I think Armour will be happy for a minute just to be able to get his head down and not have to look over his shoulder.
Yeah, he wants to
defend
his ERS total as well, so he's had to use it to defend, albeit not successfully. But he's got a bit of time now to RBB, so you can say a bit of respite for him. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. That's one of the Aston Martins. Oh, it's the winner from last week. Followed the spin in one of the turns in sector 2.
Are there going to be any team orders here? Positive, right in the back of Tundra. Who maybe, yeah, Tundra dives in the pits. I was going to say maybe those soft tyres are just going off.
Tundra's keeping positive. DRS as well.
Armour King, is he going to stay within that second of Trick? Is Trick going to stay within a second of positive? I think they all will have DRS here. Just neutralise anything there. Emma Payne struggling. Round in sector 2 again. This is really good from Andrea.
Has come out in an Aston Martin sandwich in 11th.
Andrea almost 5 seconds clear of Matt. What he doesn't need now is a safety car.
As you say that, and Payne is struggling in sector 2.
Yeah, really struggling.
Still going though.
The last thing he needs is a safety car. He's done all the hard work. Creations now gets a 3-second penalty. Going from bad to worse for him. And the field is quite stretched then. Andrea really pushing the limits here. Not just of the track, but what the car is capable of. Slinging around there in sector 2. He's also maintained a decent amount of ERS, as has Matt.
Yeah, I think the interesting
struggling along nicely.
thing is, because they're on separate tyres or different tyres.
Oh no!
Creation's gone in sector 1.
It's a VSC, I think, at the moment. Andrea's heart will be in his mouth. He's taking the opportunity to pit though, Andrea.
That's good soon from him, I think. But Matthew's following him. They'll be switching tyres, so I think Andrea will be
they're all going in.
Matthew will put on the mediums. And this could be really
interesting. All gone in
interesting.
except Positive, who takes the lead then of the race. Matt's going to have a lot of work to do on that medium tyre. Still under VSC. Doesn't look like it's going to change now. And that's good news for Andrea.
Armour another one on the medium tyre, trying to catch Positive out front. So many pitting, as you say.
Rio stayed out, Alex has stayed out.
Positive has almost called his brother and lapped him.
That was the best possible outcome really for Andrea, because he's been able to neutralise any undercuts with his pit stop, maintain a good gap to Matt. The pressure is on Matt now then, because he's going to need to push on. He's going to need to push on the medium tyre, but he also needs to carry it 13 laps or so.
Yeah, might have gone wide there as well. You need to avoid.
He's certainly capable of doing the 13 laps, but how much pace does he have near the end?
Really, surely, again, Matthew and Positive need to think of the big picture and again think about the championship, not just the win here, as much as they'd like to win.
Yeah, certainly. Well, it's never that easy.
No, but Frannick and
Trick, it's all over the back of Frannick.
And Armour King wants to get involved too.
Frank got narrow on it. Treat looking to just hook it back, but nothing doing. Slight boost of DRS for the Alpine and the Haas. They're going to chase the AlphaTauri up Eau Rouge then. In the main overtaking spot. Franek had a really good exit and the stretch 7/10. Also to Treat. Franek played that beautifully. The line was absolutely sensational through there. But nothing doing.
Tundra was a little unlucky to lose out there. Obviously, he connected the softs just a few laps before that VSC came out, whereas Sniggy, he was also on the softs, took full advantage of that VSC. So Tundra finds himself next to McLaren driver.
Emma Payne really struggling, gone again near the back. It's been the commentator's cast from you, Derek.
Ollie. Andrea just the fastest middle sector of the race. He's really controlling things out front.
Tundra is close to Harvey Booth though. He does have that 3-second penalty. The only one in the field with a penalty at the moment.
And positive hits.
Just being tickled in. Does go in now.
It's happening from the Mercedes driver, but now or never to get that hard tyre on. Slightly
Here goes Armaking into the penultimate corner. Wants to get this done on Treat because he's on the medium tyre and then has the inside. And they're going to be... They're not going to be side by side. Armaking gets ahead of the Alpine. Good pace on that lap. He couldn't afford to get held up anymore. And there's positive. Armaking passed him. Treat's not going to be past him.
He's in trouble in sector 1. He's just got lapped by the front 2.
Positive. Had to be so careful with those cold tyres up Eau Rouge. It's got to be the worst exit on the calendar, isn't it now? That. Armaking going to go to the inside of Franek.
Who's that? Treat.
Ghost in the way and Armour's through.
Treat as well. Not move on positive. The end of the DRS straight. So he can maintain his change on the 2 in front of him.
Positive needs to fire up those tyres quick. Get them going. Armour back into the front 3. Matt 4.3 behind. Andrea out front. Just managing those tyres at the moment, I think. Oh, Rio now. Oh, yellow flags.
More yellow flags. So that's an interesting call. I'm not sure what that's come from.
Field actually really bunched now behind Armour. All the way down to Smiggy in 9th. There's a real train here. And Smiggy battling against the higher tyres.
Franek 3 seconds. That could be massive in the grand scheme of things as well.
Here come the penalties now. Starting to roll in halfway through. Rollington. Gaps are just on the cusp of DRS. Some people getting it, some people not. Smiggy might fancy his chances on Tundra. I think a great exit out of 1 though. And Tundra actually is going to get the benefit of DRS from Emma Payne, I think, here. Smiggy though was very quick through Eau Rouge. And it doesn't matter if that Mercedes has got the rear wing open. Smiggy absolutely took it perfectly and is through into 8th.
Yeah, it's not been a good few laps for the Mercedes, but they're playing the long
Grumpy
game.
gone. Through Eau Rouge.
And it's safety car.
Safety car.
Well. Now
That's not good news for Andrea.
Surely, for some of these hard runners, if they've got an extra set.
It's a tough one. Do you want track position?
Tundra's definitely got
those
a
fresh
set.
tyres? Is it going to be worth it? Those hards are only 4 laps old. Andrea's got a big call to make because You don't want to relinquish the lead of the Grand Prix. However, he's going to have Matt now right behind him.
Andrea definitely didn't need the safety car, that's for sure.
However, he might, if he boxes, get out in second place, potentially. It's such a big gap. Doesn't box, though.
Right.
So the torque is irrelevant.
Who's going to pull the trigger? Who's going to throw a curveball? Briefing Cow gets the curveball. That is a drive-through penalty.
That's a grueler. No, nobody. I think we're just in that middle phase of the Grand Prix where there's not much benefit to be had. Tundra's gone in.
Tundra has gone in.
As I say that. I think if this was maybe
Rio
4 or 5 laps later, you'd see some softs being thrown on.
Alex F1 gone in. So it's the guys further down the field who haven't really got anything to lose and try and mix things up by switching their tyre compounds.
Yeah. Certainly worth it if you're near the back. Give you that advantage. You're not losing a lot. Hurricane's gone for the soft tyre.
As Emma Payne, are they going to let Emma Payne through? They should do, really, according to the rules. So
yeah, so this is going to take a lap or two now to get the field back together.
yeah, so if you want to go make a brew or take a phone call, I think now's your time to do it.
So, well, your premonition of Armour King throwing the cat amongst pigeons now has a chance of coming to fruition because Matt and Andrea are going to be tussling.
Yeah.
Armour's going to be there to pick up the pieces on the medium tyre. He's got 4 hard runners behind him. Maybe there's an opportunity for something here.
Whilst they're all in sort of close proximity of one another and with laps run down, you expect more moves to be sort of thrown in. Whether that will lead to more incidents, we'll have to wait and see. But it could be desperate times and desperate measures by some of these as that lap counter sort of ticks down.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting finish. We've still got a long way to go in this race, really.
Yeah.
In terms of time on track, as we just start lap 14, so we're only just over half race distance. I am surprised it's 22 laps around here. Very long. And this should be the last lap behind the safety car because who's that? Is that Kev off the back?
Yeah.
I wait for Kev to catch up then. Matt really has got a lifeline because I think he had been preserving his mediums in that initial stint. He's going to have a lot of life in them. This will help carry them even further. This is a huge opportunity.
So if I gave you a fiver to put on a bet on the winner of this, where's your money going, or my money going in your hat? And Mr. Williams,
Matt, despite the odds. Well, no, I wouldn't go with Matt because the odds would be too slim. I'll go something a bit more exotic.
Maybe an each way punt. I'll give you a 250 each way bet if you want.
Okay, I'll go with positive then as a podium. You know, if you pay me for the podium places as the each way, I'll take positive. 6th place, hard tyre. Couple of laps fresher than the two ahead of him. Frantic penalty.
Yeah, I think that will come down to whether he can get those tyres fired up. Because he had problems early on in the stint. And that's why he dropped a few places to the cars in front of him. So, how well are these drivers going to do with their tyre warm-ups here now that the safety car is going to come in?
Ooh. I got a bit terrified then. I thought Matt was coasting towards the wall. He's left a decent gap to Andrea so he can close it up on the power. And is the temperature going to be in these hard tyres on the restart? Andrea controlling the pace, has gone quite quickly behind the safety car, probably to keep the temperature in them. And there is Matt. It's another decent restart from Andrea.
Yeah, Frank and Andrea were almost side by side in that last corner.
On the way then, lap 15 now of 22. The field grouped. Matt already closing on Andrea. His medium tyre performing really nicely.
Yeah.
He's going to go for it here. Has to go to the outside. Andrea's covered the inside.
Yellow flag sector 1. I don't think it's anything
Oh, they're
to worry
still side
about.
by side, but Matt's through, is he? Andrea, though, keeps it to the inside now. Oh, Matt with a slight wobble. Andrea back ahead. Keeps the lead somehow. How long can he keep it for, though? He might have to do a lot more of that. Armour's closing in as well. Dropped Franek to over a second already. Positive past Trait, so into 5th. What about Fallow? 6 lap hard tyres in the middle of that field. With
might get
fresh
swapped
medium
straight up.
runners behind. Yeah, that could be a real challenge. Fallow.
Yellow flag
Who's
again.
that gone? It's Emma Payne again.
Payne. I'm really liking the look of Smiggy and Tundra as well.
Oh, Trait got very close to positive, and that's allowed Smiggy through, and Trait's round. Got very deep into the penultimate corner, almost went into the back of positive. That allowed Smiggy through. I think just tried to fire the tyres up and rotate the car back round and couldn't do it. Or rotate the car round too much.
Ooh, and Brief and Cow has also rotated the car round in the final corner. I think he's going to serve his drive through.
As well. Looking at the mini map. So yeah, good restart then from Smiggy.
Retired from the session.
Yeah, 3 seconds. Andrea's just pushed Matt to an arm's reach.
Tundra
Ten,
through
so-
Harvey, must be set. So they're really making a charge in medium runners. Next F1 pass Rio.
My positive each way show. Not looking great at the minute. These three storming away out front. Andrea's doing a really good job, actually. Although DRS will be activated at the end of this lap, so Matt just needs to stay within that 1 second gap. Armour King clinging onto it on the back of the Ferrari as well. Matt will stay inside it. He's had a much better exit out of Nana's cottage. Drake must have nipped there. Andrea, sorry, must have nipped in for a quick biscuit, because all of a sudden it's under 4/10 the gap. Oh, and Matt very late on the brakes, almost into the back of the Alpha. Andrea extends it a touch. The RS is enabled then, and there's a detection point just before Eau Rouge, so there will be DRS for Matt, there will be DRS for Armour King. Positive will have it on Franek as well.
I think Matthew's been a bit more shrewd with the DRS deployment, so he could really produce an attack here that Andrea might not have an answer for.
Positive has got past Franek then into 4th place. Nothing the Alpha Tauri can do about that.
And Andrea withstands the attack from Matthew.
Oh, what's happened there? Smiggy and Tundra. Tundra's off and into the wall.
Oh no.
Tundra ghosted.
Oh, Emma Payne's gone as well. Sector 1.
And ended up being sent into the wall. What can Positive do then? Can he close in on that front three? Arneking just clinging on to the back of Matt. Andrea though keeping the front. Can have a better exit through Nana's Cottage. He does. So Matt not closing as much this time round.
You'll have to think the pressure is really on Andrea. His heart must be pounding. Still without that tier 1 victory in HTR. He's 5 and a bit laps away.
Yeah, and has done a really good job this evening. He's doing a good job now. It might, in a minute, we might get into the stage where the hard tyre becomes the better tyre to be on. Although with that safety car, that could throw it out the window.
Can I just say that Harvey Boots 9 seconds of penalty and dropped him right down as well. So still to play for across the 14 places now.
Yeah, 6 gone, 14 remain. Nobody within striking distance, but a lot of potential to mix it up throughout the field. Who has got the life in the tyres? Who's got the confidence to push it?
Triet making
the
a
more
move
tyres come the end.
Down the DRS straight.
Harvey Booth, what's happened there? Lost a couple of places. Made a mistake, I think. Something's happened because he's now behind Kev as well.
Kev, the sole Williams driver now that Tom sort of binned it early doors, so he's really trying to get as many points as they can atop the combined constructors, and they could do with trying to maintain that gap that they've made.
Okay, just drops out, speaking of gaps, just drops out of DRS of Matt then, and that could be curtains for him. 2.5 seconds ahead of Positive though, has slightly extended that gap. So, looking good for a spot on the podium, Armour. We'll keep going. Well, Matt didn't have a great exit.
No, it didn't. Might just allowed
Armour to catch back up.
Yeah. If you look at the difference in their ERS levels though, there's such a difference in the Ferrari driver. He can use what he has to defend.
Yeah, Armour's using it really to keep pace, I think. But whilst you're there, you've still got a chance.
Yeah, just apply the pressure. Might just put a
keep
driver
DRS for as many laps as you can.
Yeah.
Positive will stay out of reach on it, so.
Oh, another 3 seconds. Rio gets another 3 as well. Just maybe a penalty awarded in that top 4 could really throw things, throw a spanner in the works, if you like.
Yeah, Alex F1 on the recovery, up into P7 now. Just got past Thallow. A bit further down the field. Hurricane, to be fair, Hurricane and Thallow on the bounce back as well. Both of them, you have to say, from the start, where they were, 18th and 19th, or 17th and 18th, right at the back. They've kept their heads, they've battled on.
Yeah.
And Hurricane sitting a provisional P9.
I mean, they haven't looked anywhere near the leaders' pay, but if you just keep going, as I say, an 8th and 10th finish would be really good for the Aston Martins.
Yeah, take that. You're going to have some weekends, some rounds where you're not quite on it, but it will still be a relatively decent points haul for Thallow to keep him near the top, and certainly challenging for the next couple of weeks.
Harvey's just slipped down even more, so he's down into 13th with 12 seconds of penalties to his name still.
And this is a big turn 1 here. Can Andrea drop Matt to outside a second? No, he can. He was at 9/10 just now. He's going to stay at 8. Armour King out of the 1 second DRS bridge to Matt then. Matt's had to spend a bit of ERS. If you look at his levels now, it's the same pretty much as Andrea. So he's had to spend all of that he had in the bank to keep up with the Alfa Romeo.
Positive closing on Armour as well, it must be said.
Yeah, Armour really missed that DRS. Then, are these medium tyres just dropping off now then? As we're seeing Matt have to spend his battery. And Armour King drop off, positive close in. Has there been a turning point? Andrea very good through sector 2, I've noticed. All race.
He's fighting in the lower positions as well. They're all close together as they enter sector 2.
Fallow trying to keep within range of Alex F1. Kev, can he keep Hurricane outside the 3 seconds? The last couple of laps.
Rio's got connection issues. That will see him slip down positions. Tunbert has the chance to close up.
Look at positive now. 1.3, 1.3 behind Armour and closing. Each way shout. He's going to come in.
Have another comment from Petch in the stream chat. He said, "Where's Matt set to finish with his 5-second penalty for using the default helmet?"
Absolutely needs to be enforced. Bit annoying we lost Tom early doors with the fruit salad after. Absolutely dominant sweep, by the way. Blackjack's dead. Oh, Matt's like wobble. We coast round. This is where Andrea's good then. Sector 2.
I think talking about dead, Armour King's tyres are definitely dead because positive closed up to within a second. Oh, how he moves spun. Yeah, contact with Trio. They were side by side going down that DRS straight. Sector 1. He's recovered.
Hurricane's
to
closed
P12.
up. Good news for Kev as well, if Hurricane can start tussling Tritt, because he's right on the cusp of the 3 seconds of Kev's penalty. So, what's happened to Matt? What's happened to Matt? Big error, because he's dropped 2.5 now behind Andrea, and he's only just over a second ahead, under a second, sorry, ahead of Armour King.
Yeah,
who's had positive catching him.
I don't think he's got any damage. I just think it probably was driver error. And it's allowed Armour King in for the final lap.
That is going to make Andrea a bit more relaxed now. 2.5 seconds the gap, and he had good pace anyway, so he can just relax.
Yeah, I think the fight will be for the rest of the podium.
I think if positive probably needed another couple of laps after this in order to get something done.
It makes me think positive holding on, making that change after the VSC might have just paid the price here, but try it.
It's hurting, but still going to be a decent result. And there's still time to do something. Tritt's back within that 3 seconds of Kev. The Hurricane's dropped 2 seconds behind the Alpine, so what's happened to Hurricane there? Vallo very close to Alex F1 and it's actually passed him. Has Alex made a mistake there? He must have.
He has Tritt as well. That'll help Kev.
Yeah, that will cement Kev's P9. Might let Hurricane jump into P10. So
only 0.3 behind Armour.
Tritt with that penalty actually costing him 2 positions. Look how Armour's closed on Matt as well. Another couple of laps and Matt could have been in real trouble. Positive, good exit through Nana's cottage. Last remaining ERS being spent. Andrea's heading up towards the penultimate corner and is going to claim his maiden victory then in Tier 1 in HTR. Positive is going to send it to the inside. It's a huge lunge. Armour trying to stick it back at the inside. Oh, Armour's round.
Oh no.
Holds it. So we'll keep the P4. It was a huge lunge from Positive. Frantic on his return will take 5th. Smiggy for 6th. Thallo 7th. Alex in 8th. Kev will take 9th. Treat with that penalty takes 10th. What's happened to Hurricane? Must be another error from Hurricane. Is it those soft eyes? I think he's had them on for a while. He had 9 laps. They're probably absolutely gone. So it's 12th for Hurricane. And we've got Rio. His Ghost has had to drive the last couple of laps. The 13th, and Harvey Booth is going to come across for 14th. But Andrea then, the story of the day, have to say, drove absolutely fantastically. Oh, Harvey Booth in the wall. As one Alfa Romeo is going to have to reverse across the line. The other will be on the top step. And thoroughly deserved. Had the pace in quali to just edge Matt. And had the pace all race really. Thought the safety car might throw it with him being on the hard tyre. But maintained the pace, maintained the gap. Held off Matt in the opening couple of laps after the restart. And deservedly takes his place on the top step. Matt drove well for second. Armour just being edged out by Positive. There might be a look at that, potentially, for the last podium spot. But it's a Mercedes driver who has it here for P3. Andrea needed that because he'll just close up in the standings then on the 2 men that he shares the podium with. Thallo ended up a little way down the field, so Andrea might jump him as well. A good performance, and there's the standings then. Fastest lap as well for Andrea. I mean, it's an absolutely outrageous fastest lap of a 19.8 second lap. It's a phenomenal effort around here. Franek then for 5th with the penalty on his return. Decent comeback. Shown that he can certainly mix it with the guys at the front still. Smiggy, good recovery drive after a slightly disappointing quali for 6th. Thallo came through again for 7th. Alex F1 recovered well. Kev as well for 9th. Triet 10th. Tundra 11th. Hurricane really struggled at the end on the softs, but takes 12th for Aston Martin. Rio, Harvey did cross the line, and Emma Payne, Briefing Cow, Grumpy, Creations, Norton and Tom didn't cross the line. All DNF'd. It was a long race, but we got there. Derek, driver of the day?
Driver of the day will be Andrea. I think he controlled it from the front, didn't look like making a mistake this time around, and fully deserved his win.
No, certainly agree with that. And maximum points then for the Italian. Congrats to Andrea on his maiden Tier 1 win, finally. Is able to get it done. So round 4 completed in Tier 1. And Tier 2, we go to Belgium tomorrow night, 7 p.m. for the 4th round of our championship. How are you feeling about that, Des?
Interesting. I wouldn't say I'm confident, but hopefully some good points for me after last week. So we'll see.
No, you've been saying that every week, although it didn't actually come through last week.
Yeah,
you do say that every single week.
I've got to be a bit like Ian Dowie and show some bounce back ability.
He's probably dead by now, isn't he, Ian Dowie? I'm not sure. So yeah, Tier 2, we go to Belgium tomorrow, 7 p.m. So tune in for that one. And then next week, we'll see round 5. And that is going to be August the 15th, 7 p.m. And we go to Abu Dhabi. So a real mix-up, not near the end of the season, as traditional in F1. We've thrown it right in the middle. So a new track layout as well then next week. So hopefully some good racing. And you can join me and Des for that 7 p.m. next week for Tier 1. We've got F2 running as well on Wednesday. So if you want to get involved with the F2 Championship, be sure to turn up and drive in a more relaxed championship That's on Wednesday at 7 p.m. as well, Des.
Yes.
7 p.m. for that one. But I hope you can join us tomorrow then. Tier 2, Alex F1, and Positive on comms for that one. So join them, tune in for that. If not, you'll hear me and Des again next week, same time, 7 p.m. And we'll be in Abu Dhabi for round 5 of Tier 1. Until then, have a good week. Take care and good night.
Ciao.